And thank you, good people, for hanging on to this episode of the Real Leaders Podcast with Lyly Greca. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Now it's time to open it up to a few questions. And Lyly, we just had one fly in. The first one comes from Julie, and she asked this: what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs based on the learnings you figured out?
Okay. Young entrepreneurs. I don't know what young means, but what I would gather is my advice. I don't normally like to give advices, Julie, because I don't really know your circumstance. And I feel like if I give you advice without knowing the full context of your circumstance, I may not necessarily be giving a good one. Sure. But what I would tell you is, in my experience, this is what I have learnt. I have realized that there is so much value in learning from people you work for. Huge value. And so when you're working for someone else, you have to learn. The lessons that I learned is that I learned how people negotiate, the impact that words and action have on the outcome. Because when you take that out to doing your own thing, these are lessons that you could, I guess, develop further on. But the lessons in which you learn when you're working for someone else is critical, and not to jump out to the thought of being an entrepreneur just for the title or for the sake of it, but because there is a purpose and there's a reason for it. And you know, when you're working with other people for someone else, you learn the skill of interactions and how you deal with your colleagues and how your colleagues deal with other people to get, once again, the best outcome. They're vital skills that will be able to, I guess, excel you when you're on your own journey, for sure. The other thing that I would, I guess, share is that what I have learned is I never realized that I wanted to own my own business or be an entrepreneur as such. What I wanted was to really make sure that I enjoy everything that I did, that I gave 1,000% of myself. And I just lived my life and not really have this defined life and have complete control over my own journey. And whether I worked for someone else or I worked for myself, that is a non-negotiable. And, you know, the critical thing is that there are no limits in this world except for the limits that I so often see people put on themselves.
It's powerful. It's powerful, and sage advice as well. Now, Lyly, that seems like that's the last question today for you. Where can people find more information about Miei?
They could go onto our website, which is www.miei.com.au. They could find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on Facebook, and with the same MIEI, with the difference of group. But yeah, you'll be able to find Miei.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on the Real Leaders Podcast. And always, folks, keep it real. Take care, Lyly. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.